here. I'm in the mood to share some trade secrets here. I am focusing my camera. Alrighty. I'm in the mood to share some trade secrets with everybody. Heavy metal, parasite, detox. Huge subject in the holistic health world, okay? Now, I'm no doctor, I'm no guru, but I have been through a lot. I've been through a super intense, agonizing journey, and I believe a lot of knowledge can be obtained through being in the fire as opposed to learning from textbooks. You know, I think a few hours of a detox reaction is going to teach you more than 100 hours of a textbook, learning from a textbook, right? Or learning through science. It's not to say to throw away the science, but experience, in my opinion, is just a far better learning mechanism, learning tool. So, quick little piece of advice here to put things into the scope, put things into perspective. You know, if you're super sick, I don't encourage detox, okay? Now, the word detox is essentially to remove, toxins, right? When I say by not to detox is that the intro phases of a program, a health program, in my opinion, for somebody who's really sick, is not actually going to be to detoxify the body. If you actually look at how many years and how much toxins and how many issues and situations is behind the end result of a collapsed body and a collapsed system, you would never just detox right away, okay? Because we are talking about decades and decades and decades of buildup. Illness doesn't just happen like that. Sometimes the symptoms arise like that, but typically it's a sorry folks, my camera died. What I was saying was that it's a slow accumulation and accrued sickness that's taken many years to build up, right? There's a book called Never Be Sick Again by an MIT doctor, and he talks about how if there was a scale, and on one end of the scale would be life, exuberance, amazing health, on the other end would be death, that the symptoms of illness would arise, the serious symptoms of illness would arise way closer to death than they do life. And his school of thought is that we have tons of messages along the way that we're not listening to, right? So my point in saying this is that there's no sort of jump to detox, like, oh my god, I feel sick, I have to detox because I'm dying, right? Well, yes, but you've essentially done this for the past 20 years, so let's take a deep breath and let's do this from a more reasonable place here, okay? Now, of course, that's easier said than done when you're having panic attacks and when you're anxious, but my point here is that we don't detox right away. Why? Because toxins always mimic a metal. Toxins always mimic a mineral. In the cell only binds to a metal because it looks or appears to be a mineral. Mercury and selenium, for instance. Okay, this is a perfect example. The cell will bind to mercury because it's similar, not really similar, but kind of similar, and it's the next best thing to selenium. So, the point here is that when you're loaded up with toxins, you're also nutrient deficient, combined with the fact that, the soils are depleted, and we're not having a good, nourished, full spectrum diet. Why are the soils depleted? Well, because of monocrop farms, okay? So first of all, farmers and corporations, for the most part, are sucking the land dry. They're not allowing the land to rest. Land requires rest to remineralize, and they're not doing that, obviously, because they'll lose profits, and they're jeopardizing the integrity of the plant. There's less nutrients. Why else? Because of monocrop farms. Okay, farms with one crop along the entire soil is destroying the soil because the crops are sucking up the same nutrients each time over and over and over again, versus if you were to have a giant farm or an ecosystem rather, like a garden with many different facets and different plants and different, you know, if we can compare it to humans, it would be like different races or whatever, different specialties, classifications. Races is not a good analogy, but specialties, you know, different specialties of characteristics and attributes. My point here is that when you have this type of garden, it creates an immune system, an ecosystem, and there's minerals that are being given, minerals that are being taken, you know, the natural flow, the natural system here, as opposed to a monocrop farm which just sucks the land dry of specific nutrients. So anyway, because we're nutrient deficient, if we were to detox from that place, we're going to dive deeper into the hole. Okay, to chelate metals while being sick, in my opinion, disaster. You're going to get sicker and sicker and sicker, and to an already fractured psyche, right? So when people are super toxic, their psyche is fractured. They don't have the pieces of their life together. They don't have their pieces of their soul. Their psyche is not intact. Chelating further fractures things. We need to create a stable foundation, in my opinion, before we detox, even if you're moderately ill, in my opinion, my non-medical opinion. Remember, I'm not a doctor. But if we can remineralize the body, heal the intestines and the gut, and clean the already present junk that's in the intestines, that's how we can then launch our detox protocol. Then we can start using the word detox. In the beginning, it has to be remineralizing, healing the gut, creating a stable foundation in your house, in your home, in your life, setting up the environment for the launch. Okay, so disconnecting from people that no longer serve you, detoxing people, places, things out of your life, Facebook, you know, starting to orchestrate your life around the healing process that's about to take place. So I know, you know, some of you guys are just getting started. Some of you guys are really, really sick. So it's hard to talk to everybody at the same time because there's a real different message for people along the spectrum of health, in my opinion. There's a super different, clear-cut, different message. Yeah, detox is incredible for taking you from all the way from death to incredible superhuman powers. I do believe that, but it's a different message, different method for each stage along the journey. So this is really for people who are like me, or even a fraction of what I was. So slow it down, take a breath, heal the gut. I have tons of videos on gut healing. Start cleaning the colon, back up before you even think about detox. Get rid of what's already the low-hanging fruit hanging out in there in your intestines. And then remineralize. I think I said that already. Remineralize, heal the gut, build a foundation, a logistical foundation in your life. Start cutting people out of your life. Start finding a safe home, a safe room, a good nature spot, and slowly building your way up to stability. And binders, huge piece of the puzzle. Check out my videos on binders. Another critical piece of the puzzle when you're super sick, like bentonite clay and activated coconut charcoal and microchitosan and zeobind, things like this, that you can take to attract all of the low-hanging fruit in there. And then we can start talking about more deeper stuff, but you must take this slow and steady. You must create a stable foundation in your physically and spiritually, emotionally, before doing any chelation, in my opinion.
Watching seasons change.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Our roads were
hope you enjoyed the show.
lined with adventure, mountains in the